Okay, I wanted to talk to you today about a few things. I'm in beautiful St. Kitts, November, almost Thanksgiving, and beautiful weather out here, man. It's just nice weather here all the time. This is the time, of course, it's just nice all year round. You don't have real hot weather in the summertime, and you don't have cold weather in the wintertime, which is really nice. But what I want to talk to you today is about when you move overseas. So many people think that when you go to a place that has, they think is totally tax-free, they get to a place and they find out that a tax haven, they end up having to pay taxes, okay, quite a bit. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. And you also run into this, not just pure tax havens, but also territorial tax systems. And also, folks, before we start, if you want to legally get your income taxes to zero, how to get a second passport as quick as 45 days, do three things. Hit the subscribe button on the right of your screen. You'll get new videos automatically as they come out. And number two is I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or a comment, just put it below. And number three is if you want to get your taxes, folks, down low, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com. Hit the top bar that says apply with us, fill out the questions, hit that bottom bar that says send it to us. We deal with over 100 citizenship by investment, residency by investment countries all over the world. Okay, now let's look at pure tax havens and also territorial tax systems, and where you can end up getting screwed if you don't know what you're doing before you actually head and take an international move. Otherwise, you get pissed off, you end up picking up all your bags and then removing again. I see this a lot. People just don't, they're penny wise and a dollar foolish. They don't try to do research and pay for some professional advice. And what happens is they end up doing an international move and having to pick up their bags. And maybe their spouse gets pissed off with them because then the wife, usually the wife gets mad with the husband because he didn't do his homework. Now he's got to pick his bags up and do another international move because he was trying to cut back on trying to get advice, and then he just takes an international move and then finds out it's not going to work for the taxes and the business that he's looking to do in that country. All right, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Social Security in a lot of countries, if you look at all my videos, I go through a lot of them with what the Social Security is. We've got some countries in the world where the Social Security tax can be as high as 50%. No joke. I've seen Social Security taxes higher than income taxes. And when you're going to have to pay this on your employees, man, you can pay a lot more in a Social Security tax than income taxes. But these are things that you need to be looking at before you start doing an international move, before you start, picking up your bags and going if you're trying to get your taxes down low. All right, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about, okay? Let's take Antigua and St. Kitts, for instance, okay? Antigua has no income tax, no capital gains tax, no estate tax, and inheritance tax. They do have a Social Security tax, and so does St. Kitts, okay? But Antigua's Social Security tax is mandatory, okay? St. Kitts is not. That's a big difference, okay? And that means also if you're going to run a business, you're going to have to pay this for your employees. Now, in St. Kitts, you will have to pay it for your employees, just like you do in Antigua, in Barbuda, okay? But if you're self-employed and you're running an operation with self-employed contractors, which are easily done in St. Kitts, then you can hire people on a self-employed basis in St. Kitts, and that person pays their own Social Security tax. Let me give you an example of how you do it. In St. Kitts, you can get people to get their own license, pay for their own license, or either you can pay for it for them if you want. They can work out of their own house, because now a lot of people are doing that. They're finding out it's a lot nicer to do that than going in an office setting. You don't pay for any overhead cost. The guy pays for his own license. You know how much it costs to get your own license? You can actually get what's called a secretarial general copying license down here. It's 200 EC, okay? That's incredible. 200 EC is like 70 US bucks a year, $70 a year. That's all they pay for. You can contract with that person, and they're responsible for paying any Social Security tax. But this is the key. The Social Security system in St. Kitts, they want you to join Social Security, but there is no mandatory rule where they're going to fine you or they're going to come back and hit you right now. And they might do that later, but I'm saying right now, there is no mandatory law that makes you, as the self-employed contractor for your business, or any self-employed contractors that you bring in that contract with your company, to pay Social Security. Now, if you bring them in as employees, you would not be responsible being the owner of your company, but any employees you would, unless they're self-employed contractors, okay? Now, Antigua is totally different. Antigua is going to, they're going to require you to have Social Security that you're going to pay on yourself and your employees, even if you own the business for yourself, okay? That's the big difference, because over a period of years, man, that's a lot. And I'll tell you something else too. Remember, Social Security, unless you pay about 40 quarters, which is usually the requirement for most countries, you're not going to get anything out of that program unless you pay in 40 quarters, which could be 10 years if you do it, if you're in the system all 40 quarters, or it could be 15 years, okay? So if you're not in that system for that time period, that money is going down a rat hole, okay? You're not getting anything back from that, okay? So these are some things that you need to look at before you go, because a lot of countries that are territorial tax systems, okay, they're going to require you to maybe not have taxes outside the country on your income or corporation if it's done outside the country, but they will require you to have a Social Security tax that you fund on yourself, and it can be really high. It can be really high. Guatemala is one of them. Okay, there are other countries too that have that. They have territorial tax systems that require you to pay Social Security on yourself and your employees. Okay, now there are ways you can exempt out of all of it. It just depends on the country and how you set up your program, where you go. These are things that you need to learn before you start taking international moves, folks. And then planting your butt in a place that you're finding out you thought there was no taxes, and there was, okay? And most people think there is no income taxes in Antigua, and that's correct. But you will have to pay a Social Security tax, okay? And there are places that you can actually, like I said, pay more in Social Security tax than in income tax. And believe me, there are countries like that. and when you got to do it on your employees, man, you could pay taxes through the roof. And these are some things that you need to learn ahead of time. You need to learn about outsourcing, how to lower your labor costs down 90%. There's so many places you can do that in. Anyway, folks, if you want to learn more on this, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com. Hit the top bar that says apply with us, fill out the questions. Hit that bottom bar that says send it to us. We deal with a lot of over 100 citizenship by investment, residency by investment countries all over the world. And folks, we got over 500 videos. You need to hit that subscribe button to the right of your screen if you want to get these videos automatically. And don't forget to hit that notification bell next to that subscribe button. And would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put it below. And I look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.